Do you want to stay relevant to your current and your potential clients? Do you want to know how you can show up in the marketplace and continue to see your sales grow and serve people powerfully? If that's you, I'm going to share with you here today 5 key things that you can do. All right. So the first thing I want you to think about is leadership. You know, there's a lot of chaos in the world. There's a lot of uncertainty. And when people are experiencing that, what they're seeking is leadership. They're seeking someone who gives them the confidence, who gives them the certainty that they need to feel safe. So what I'm going to invite you to do is think about how you're choosing to show up. You know, this is really about deciding what you will be a stand for. Will you be a stand for people shrinking into fear? Or will you be a stand for people expanding, for people rising up and becoming leaders themselves? All right. So that's the first thing to focus on. Number 1 is leadership. So this is going to require you to lead yourself before you can actually lead other people powerfully. So what tools do you have in place? What resources do you have so that you can show up as a leader that you need to be, so that you can embody that leadership and therefore lead your people? The second thing I want you to think about is your offer. You know, there's a lot of people talking about pivoting offers because it's that important right now. If you want to stay relevant, then your offer needs to meet the needs and wants of your clients right now. So I want you to think about whatever it is that you have right now as an offer. Is it, number 1, packaged as a solution, right? So what that means is you've got to really identify what is the top of mind problem for your current and your potential clients right now. What is the promise that your offer offers them? And what is the process that you're going to be leading people through so that they can get the results that they desire, right? This is how you package your genius as a solution. So you got to look at that. The third thing is that you want to make sure that your messaging not only communicates value, but the way that you communicate activates people to take action, right? So this goes back to the leadership piece of this. We have to remember that who we are choosing to be is sub-communicated through every word that we speak, every word that we write. So that's through all of your marketing. You can put out the most amazing content, but if who you're being is not what people are looking for right now, then it's not going to be effective. So when it comes to your messaging, you want to think about, yes, the message that you're putting out into the marketplace, but also the energy that's being communicated behind it. All right. You want to show up and activate people to take the step of reaching out and becoming a client, because that's how they're going to get the help that they really want. Right. So then the fourth step in this is really about your system for generating leads. I keep talking about a system because I know that a lot of people rely on spray and pray, and it may have gotten you to where you are right now. But if you're wanting to not only get through this critical time, but you also want to thrive, then I highly recommend that you have a system in place, a system that's going to keep the leads and the sales flowing so that you feel safe and secure, so that you can take care of your family the way that you desire to take care of them. So I've shared my system many times before, and I'll share it just briefly again here today. The first part of the system, it's a 3-part system. It's organic, and that's important that I stress that to you, because listen, now is not the time to run out and try to learn ads if you're not already converting organically consistently, right? If you want to run ads and you're already running ads, now is the time to double down, right? If you already know what you're doing in that space, double down on that. But if you don't know what you're doing in that space, you don't want to lose your shirt right now, right? So you want to make sure that you can consistently convert through organic methods first. When you get that up and running, then you can move on to ads, okay? The same thing with complex funnels. You don't need complex funnels right now. In fact, what you want to do is be first to the market, right? In your niche. So what you want is a system that allows you to get in front of your ideal people consistently, so that they see you as having the solution to the problem that they're experiencing. So the 3-step system is this. Number 1, you want to cultivate an audience every day. If you don't have a big audience right now, no worries. Number 1, you don't need a big audience, especially if you're selling higher value offers, higher ticket offers, right? So you don't need a huge audience, but you do want to do the work every single day of cultivating an audience, right? The second thing is you want to connect with that audience. How are you connecting with those people so that they see you as someone who has a solution, and actually as someone who's also being the solution, being the figure of safety that they're seeking right now? And 3, you know, what conversion tools are you using to convert your people every single day, right? So that's a 3-step system that I teach my clients. Now, The fourth thing that I want you, or the fifth thing, just checking to see if you're paying attention, the fifth thing that I want you to consider is your sales skills, right? You know, I know for a lot of people, you can get to multiple six figures winging it. I have a client right now, he has a $250,000 business, and he was kind of winging it when it comes to sales, right? He didn't have a proven process. He had a huge amount of leads, so it was okay for him to kind of muddle his way through, right? But now he has a proven system. He has a proven methodology, I should say. And he's doubled his fees, and he's converting in this climate right now at double the fees. Why? Because he has a proven process. He has a proven strategy for taking people through a sales conversation that actually allows people to make the decision to invest in themselves rather than their fears. So you need to ask yourself, do you have a system for converting your sales? You want sales that stick right now. You want people to be excited about working with you right now, even with all the fear in the world, right? That you want people to feel excited about working with you, because you don't want them to then change their mind and ask for a refund. You don't want people to say yes and then disappear when it's time to sign the contract and pay the deposit. So you need to know how to facilitate what I like to call a true conversion. You've got to have a sales process in place that works for you. All right, so I hope you've gotten some value from what I've shared with you here today. Let's run through things really quickly. Number one, leadership, right? How you're showing up is really going to make the difference between whether or not you just get through this and you're able to thrive. It makes a difference between whether or not you're actually going to be relevant to your people right now. Okay, so you've got to decide, what are you going to be a stand for, and you've got to embody that. The second is your offer. You know, you need to make sure that your offer is packaged as a solution that meets the current needs of your ideal clients. The third thing is your messaging, right? Your messaging has to clearly communicate your value, and you've got to really activate people in your messages, right? So that people are feeling called to step up and work with you. The fourth is your lead gen system. Do you have a system in place? If not, I recommend that you get a system in place, and I recommend that you stay away from anything that's complex. It's going to take a lot of time, that you stay away from anything that's going to require an outlay of expense or a big budget if you don't already know how to do that, right? So if you don't already know how to run an ad campaign successfully, I would not recommend that this is a time to learn. I would recommend that you learn how to convert organically first with some consistency, and then you can up level to ads when you're ready, right? The last piece of this is really your sales process. You know, how are you leading people through a sales conversation so that they feel compelled, they feel empowered to invest in themselves rather than their fears, become a client, and get the kind of results that can really serve them powerfully right now. We have to remember that the psychological and financial fallout of what's going on in the world right now is going to be huge, okay? So if you are a coach, if you're a therapist, if you're a healer, if you're someone who's in the business of transformation, people need you now more than ever, all right? People need you now more than ever. This is not the time to sit back and kind of wait it out. You know, from what I've heard, this can go on, what's going on in the economy may go on for the next 12 months or 18 months, right? So if you can't afford to ride it out, and you really want to serve people, now is the time to start implementing what I just shared with you here today, so that not only can you win, but the people that you're here to serve can win as well. All right, so I hope you got some value. If you would like support with what I've discussed here today, and you would like my support with, you know, really expanding and attracting and converting a steady flow of high value clients, we should have a conversation. You can send me a private message, or you can click the link below this video. And until we speak, I hope you're up to big, bold things in your life and your business. I also hope that you and your family are safe. You know, I was talking to my dad recently, and we were talking about how while these are trying times, it's also an exciting time to be alive, right? To really allow ourselves to show up in the way that we were all born to show up, that we may have taken for granted in the past. So I hope for you that you see this as an opportunity for you to rise, for you to lead, and for you to serve. And if I can help you in any way, I would love to do so. Feel free to reach out to me. Take care.